Hi, how's everybody doing? Brian here. Just filled the tractor up. We had plans today to do some manure spreading, but that is not going to happen. Went to go pick up the spreader from my mom there. Asked if I could borrow it. Went there, me and Luke and Elena. Take that out. Went there to go pick it up, and oh, bad light there. It was gone. Somebody opened the gates, went in with a tractor. I could see the tractor tire marks, and stole it. So I called the cops and had to file a report, which sucks because we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with our manure and how to get that spread. In the meantime, hopefully they figure out who did it. But yeah, it's kind of a downer for today and for, future use. But I got most of the manure piled up actually, so I'm gonna have to figure out if I just make a pile in the field. And there's a couple other people I could ask if I could use their manure spreader, but I don't really like doing that, but might have to in this instance. So yeah. Well, I was gonna feed cows after I got done cleaning up and spreading manure today, but since that's not gonna happen, I guess I'm gonna get them fed, and then we put a water line from the house to the shed here last year, and it settled down. Nikki wants me to get that dug up quick. I'll just take the digger out and dig that little stretch quick so it can get replanted in grass and go from there. No baby goats yet. No new calves yet. They're bagging. I'm not quite sure when they're gonna happen, but hopefully soon. Yeah, no, I don't even know what to say about that. It's just not acceptable to do that. But yeah, so we're gonna get going on that stuff that we can get done. All right, everybody. So it's been an eventful day. This will kind of be a continuation from some other stuff. I haven't posted for a while. I've been busy dealing with nonsense that shouldn't ever be, but it is getting resolved. And I will show you exactly the nonsense. I'll go through kind of the story that unfolded and kind of go from there. So you can see behind me, flip your spreader. So I had planned on spreading last Saturday. Went to ask my mom if I could use a spreader. She said, yeah. I went to go pick it up out of the shed, which, mind you, is behind gates that are chain gates to the driveway. But it wasn't in the shed. Someone stole it, thought they needed it more than we did, which is not the case. I don't understand the thinking behind it, but we got a tip on it. We got a tip on it from we put it on Facebook that it was stolen, made a police report, went through all the proper steps to it, and we got a tip off Facebook that they had a text from somebody that they were looking for a spreader about 3 weeks ago, asking, hey, can I borrow a spreader? And the guy's like, no, you know, I gotta use my own stuff. And then so it happens, ours showed up, or my mom's, whatever you want to call it, missing 1.5 miles down the road from where this guy with no spreader was looking for one. I did a little drive-by by the guy's house, didn't see any, but there was fresh spread manure there. I called around, asked a couple people about the guy. They had nothing good to say about him. We'll say that enough said on that. But anyways, my brother went out, bought a drone, flew it up high on the road, not over his property, not anything like that. And sure enough, the lead was correct. We could see the spreader sitting out in the pasture just down a little hill, so you couldn't see it from the road. But we could see the spreader sitting out in his pasture. And mind you, this is 1.5 miles from where we had it, sitting in our shed that you can't see in from the road. If you're driving, it's a loafing shed, but it's dark in there. You can't really see in there from the road. And yeah, the guy, he didn't even go through the gates. He decided to drive his tractor in there, go through the ditch, drag the spreader through the ditch, which I'm not too thrilled about. But we did have a good, the sheriff department guy we had, he was, he did everything he could legally. But we called him. I got a hold of him actually this morning again. Talked to him, and they got a search warrant. Went over there, talked to him. The guy's story was that I let a guy use my tractor, and he showed up with this, and I traded a baler for him, which is a bunch of BS. But he had that was his story that he went with. I guess he's not currently under arrest for theft. It goes to the DA's office, and another detective, or the guy we had, he said he might be in charge of it too. He's not 100% sure, but they're going to do more investigating, see if anything else is stolen there, see what he could, because he has a story he didn't steal it. He traded a baler for it. But I just find that hard to believe, personally. But they're going to go through the proper channels, and hopefully he gets charged and doesn't just get away with, oh, I need that, I'm going to come take it. I don't know what this society's coming to, but that's not what I'm trying to teach my kids, or anybody should teach their kids, or what should happen. But yeah, that's kind of the story on the spreader. So we got it back. I got to go through it, make sure there's not anything. It doesn't look like there's anything really wrong with it. I can just see at first glance. I literally just got home with it. My brother stopped over, and I talked to him about it for a while. And my mom's gonna stop over and take some pictures with it, but I'm gonna hook it up to the tractor. I'm gonna crawl underneath it and make sure there's nothing hung up. I'm gonna run a little bit, take a bunch more pictures of it, just for evidence and stuff. But I'm happy it's back, but it's a whole lot of nonsense that we really shouldn't have had to went through, especially from someone that lives a mile down the road, and now we're worried about, you know, retaliation and him still going over there and going in the back shed because you can't see the shed from the house. So there'll be security cameras going up, I'm sure, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's back. So that's my plan now, is to. It's a week late, and I wanted to get that manure spread last week because it was right before some rain. And I didn't want to rut my fields up, but I'm hoping it'll be dried out enough. I think it'll be dried out enough by Saturday or Sunday here. I'll get manure all cleaned up and spread out of here, and all that fun, good stuff. But yeah, it's been chicken's going. It's been a couple days of, I mean, I drove by his house probably 20 times, but not it, you know, legally, just driving by, seeing what I can see. But I talked to the sheriff there, and he said it's not, you're lucky you got it back, is what he said. Because if it would have been a county over, or, you know, we didn't get that tip, or, you know, anything like that, you probably would have never seen it again. Because they can grind serial numbers, they can change stuff. You know, we're actually lucky that we had pictures of it, and there's specific stuff that we could identify on this spreader to prove that it was ours, which kind of sucks that we gotta. It felt like they were sticking up for the thief, which I get to a point, but when it's something obvious like this, you know, his tractor tracks line perfect. He's got one tractor, the tracks in the shed line perfectly up with his tractor. And there's just too many things that were a coincidence that line up perfectly. You know, oh, I don't have a spreader in here. You know, ours shows up missing, and oh, miraculously I got a spreader. And this spreader is not a common spreader to have around. We had to look and see what the value was for other reasons, and I found it's a GEHL 1287. But I found, I think it was 4 or 5 that sold in the last year nationwide, and that's all I could find. I looked on Tractor House, and there was one for sale on there, and there's usually tons of stuff for sale on Tractor House. There's one for sale on there, and it said call for price. So yeah, it's just not a common spreader, and it's just irritating that, you know, I had to miss. I was at work today when I got the call. I got a gray beard. That they, you know, I called them this morning. It was early before I went to work, and they took all the evidence and stuff that we gave them. You know, the drone pictures and whatnot of it sitting there. Told them where it was. They got their search warrant, and my mom actually called me and said, yeah, that's it. 100% sure. The deputy will meet you here, you know, at 2 o'clock to go pick it up. So I left work at noon, so I missed, you know, half a day of work, which I guess it's a perk of owning your own business. I just left because I felt this was more important, but still sucks missing, you know. I think it's 70 degrees out today. It's a nice day, you know. I was working outside, actually trying to get something done, but yeah, so it's one of those things. Hopefully it'll never happen again. My suggestion is, anybody, you know, farm equipment, take a bunch of pictures of them. You know, I mean, you can record the serial number, but like he said, you know, he could have, all you gotta do is take a grinder and grind that off. He did suggest putting, you know, maybe it's a weld on the bottom side of the frame or something, you know, that only you would know is there. That is something that I will personally be doing to my stuff now, because I don't live that far from where this happened either. And I don't need retaliation at my house either, even though it shouldn't happen. He's in the wrong. But you never know with some people. Obviously, he had no conscience and didn't really give a shit, you know, to be honest. But yeah, that's really exciting events today. But we got it back. If anybody's interested in anything about it, the GEHL, this is the same as a New Holland 185 box spreader. We've had it it's been around our family farm for about, I think Mom said 2006, so what's that, 19 years we had it. But it's, you know, one of those things you gotta have, it's a big help, let's say that. If you're on a bigger operation, you gotta have it. But yeah, I'm gonna get the tractor now, get it hooked up, run it through it, probably I'll grease everything again and oil it up, oil the chains up, and make sure everything is okay with it, which it looks like everything's gonna be just fine with it. But yeah, big thanks to everybody that shared the Facebook posts, and the tip we got, because it honestly, it got it back for us, because I don't know if we would have found it otherwise.